What is up, cats and kittens? I'm back, and I'm going to be breaking down the brand new, unexpected Star Wars The Force Awakens International / Japanese trailer. And like I was joined by in the past when we broke down the last Force Awakens trailer, he's back, folks. Please welcome Mike from LaughingStock Media. Hello, Mike.
Hey guys, it's Mike here from LaughingStock Media. How's it going?
All right, and we're going to be talking about this Star Wars Force Awakens International trailer, which, again, brand new. We got some new scenes I want to break down here, kind of speculate. Before we go any further, I just want to say there may contain spoilers here for the film. I don't think there's going to be any major spoilers, but there may be some, all right? So I'm just letting everybody know ahead of time. Mike, are you ready to talk about this trailer?
Let's get ready to rumble.
All right, here we go. So, hit play right here, as you can see, and it opens up with what appears to be Rey, and this is probably a carryover of the first scene in the other trailer where you see her inside the Star Destroyer. This is probably her about to go inside of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it looks like. I mean, this could be right before or right after she goes into that Star Destroyer to salvage.
And then you hear Maz Kanata, I'm pretty sure that's who that is, saying, "Who are you?"
Yes, a CGI character.
Yeah, what do they call it? It's CGI, but there's another name for it. Motion capture.
Motion captured.
Yeah. And then she's like, "I'm no one. I'm just a scavenger." I think she says that. Let me hear. Okay, she just says, "I'm no one." Now, let me tell you where I got that "I'm just a scavenger" line from. I went to Target today.
Yeah.
And actually, I picked up a. There's a bunch of Star Wars toys there, right? And in fact, Mike, I'm gonna play this for you right here on the air. Listen, listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fight it.
Did you hear it?
You know you can.
Is that Kylo Ren?
I've been waiting for this day for a long time.
Yeah, I picked up the talking Kylo Ren today because I fucking love Star Wars. But Kylo Ren and Ciampa are my two new favorite characters, even though we haven't seen them do shit yet.
Yeah.
But no, what I was gonna say was, if you go and you get the Rey toy, she says, "I'm no one. I'm just a scavenger." So I guess that's the second part of that scene.
Yeah.
So let's move forward here. I'm going to turn this down because it comes in a little loud. So here we see the new version of the binary sunset, except there's only one sunset, right?
Yep, with the vapor or the moisture gatherers.
Moisture
like
evaporators.
Yeah.
Do you speak the binary language of moisture evaporators?
Yes, sir. That was one of my things. Shut up.
Right. And now this part's interesting because she's asking, what are you or who are you? Last time we did this, Mike, we speculated about whether or not this droid belongs to Poe Dameron under her, and it looks like this droid belongs to Poe Dameron and ends up on Jakku, and she ends up meeting BB-8.
Interesting. I wonder what that is on the ground.
I don't know. This rag right here or whatever?
Yeah.
No idea.
I know all about waiting.
So she says, "I know all about waiting for my family." Now,
yeah, now that's a really interesting thing because
Yes.
what family? Who is her family that she's waiting for? That's a really interesting thought.
it's a very interesting thought, and I'm curious about it. Now, one of the theories, and again, possible spoiler territory here. All right, here we go. One of the theories that has been going around, there's two different theories. One is that her family's irrelevant, that they dropped her off there and they told her they were going to come back for her. That's one theory. The other theory is that the family that dropped her off there is actually her adopted family, and that she is tied to the Skywalkers in one way or another.
Yeah.
So that's the two theories going around. I'm going to like that, by the way. So here we see BB-8 and Finn, and I believe, Mike, that's going to be roughly when they first meet.
Yeah, I mean, we do see later on, as we will see when they introduce their actual names. But, I mean, it's very possible that they're meeting at a marketplace, and I'm sure BB-8 is going to facilitate their meeting somehow, maybe through mischief, like, the droids tend to get into, and then, it causes them to meet up.
Yeah, and I also think, Mike, that that's this scene right here of them looking out, I think they're looking at the stormtroopers that are going to be chasing them. Because
Very
remember,
likely.
They're being chased by stormtroopers and TIE fighters, which we're going to get to here in a minute. Okay, now this shot right here, bro.
That's awesome. It reminds me of Top Gun.
Well, that's the original reference is from Apocalypse Now. I think we talked about this.
Oh, yeah, well, that too, but also, just the colors of Top Gun.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think Top Gun may have been influenced by Apocalypse Now also. But this is a great shot right here. And the thing is, the Apocalypse Now shot with the sun and like the clouds around it, this has actually been done. You know, you can tell that J.J. Abrams, as we've talked about before, is a huge mark for movies. And this right here is an example of it. Now, the thing is that this shot with the Apocalypse Now, look, it's been done in Dragon Ball, actually. A lot of people don't pick up on this because they don't know, but, you know, we talked in the past about how Dragon Ball has a lot of references to films and things like that.
Yep.
The scene where Goku and Vegeta go off to fight for the first time, they fly back into a sun that looks exactly like this.
Yeah.
It's an homage. So here we go. Now we're seeing the Flame Troopers burning that village, which we talked about last time, and there's Captain Phasma again, Kylo Ren. Now we have a little more Kylo Ren here.
Yeah.
I will finish.
And he says, I will fulfill our destiny. Now, people need to snap out of this fucking Kylo Ren as Luke Skywalker bullshit. Like,
or that he's Star Killer.
They really need to snap out of it, yo. Star Killer is no longer canon according to Disney. And if you look at the cast list, Kylo Ren's played by Adam Driver, not by Mark Hamill. Please, people, stop with the fucking bullshit. Luke Skywalker never once said, I will fulfill our destiny. He didn't even use the word destiny. That was something that Palpatine always used.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
What you started.
And Darth Vader.
Yeah, right? Now, go ahead.
I was going to say that's him like turning up that lightsaber. I assume maybe it's one of our first shots of the lightsaber actually in the movie to showcase that he, you know, we do get a, you know, better view of those like exhaust points where that kind of
here
guard comes up. Yeah. Where you actually see it come out of. That's really interesting. But it looks like he's decapitating someone in that scene. It's very, I don't know, very allegorical, I feel.
I think he is. I think he is decapitating somebody. So we're seeing them here again run away from the TIE fighters. They're going to eventually get in the Falcon and then chase him down. This is the part where she says, what's your name? And he says, Finn. And then she says, I'm Rey.
I'm Rey.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be that, you know, it's supposed to be, you know what that is, Mike? Here's what I want to get your thoughts on this. I think that scene of them introducing themselves, I think that's supposed to be like one of those historic scenes like Anakin Skywalker, meet Obi-Wan Kenobi type thing where when this whole trilogy's over, we're going to look back on this trailer and be like, okay, that's the moment that started it all. That's honestly how I feel.
It's very possible, although it is interesting to think that they didn't even introduce themselves via name before they got on the Millennium Falcon. So maybe they just quickly rushed onto it. I don't really know. Like, why would they have rushed on and never even once introduced their own names? I mean, maybe they're too caught up in the action, but it is a very interesting thing to wonder and contemplate.
I feel like, Mike, something happens in Jakku or whatever, and that like the stormtroopers find them and they see BB-8 because I think they're going after BB-8. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Because why would they have any beef? Why would they have any beef? Oh no, Finn, because Finn was a stormtrooper. They could be going after him as well. And
there is another theory which I have heard that Finn might actually not have actually been Stormtrooper, and that's sort of a red herring.
No, that's been debunked. That's already been debunked.
That Finn actually was someone who went undercover.
No, that rumor started back in like January, and that's been completely debunked in all the material. He is a Stormtrooper. That's
okay.
Debunked.
I mean, perhaps they did similar R2-D2. They put some sort of plans for the battle station inside of BB-8.
Well, I think they put the lightsaber inside of BB-8. That's my little guess. The lightsaber they've been chasing. But no. What you're referring to is that rumor. That was a popular rumor like a few months ago. But J.J. Abrams and Finn at the Disney convention pretty much said, no. I start as a stormtrooper and then something happens that changes my destiny. So he starts off as a stormtrooper and then I guess joins the First Order. In fact, if you actually go out and you buy his toy, it actually says he defected from the First Order and joined the Resistance. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now we see these shots we've already seen before. That's a new shot of Leia right there, and there we see Poe Dameron back there. Leia, I think that's Leia over here, and C-3PO with the red arm. Yeah.
Also, if you go back to that real quick,
absolutely.
Now we do see other shots of this, but
here or somewhere else.
No, there. With the actual base. I don't know if a lot of people picked up on this, but where they are right now, it seems very reminiscent of A New Hope and Yavin.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, when they're outside with the actual
it looks like Yavin.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe they're on Yavin. Like they're trying to do a lot of throwbacks to A New Hope to Episode 4, the original Star Wars, and they're going to be on Yavin. And it might just be like an opposite thing. Like they're trying to destroy the base. So in this case, there is a role reversal where they're like the Empire trying to destroy that planet and that base. And they're basically like, standing there. And it's like a complete opposite role reversal in this case. I feel like that might be what they're trying to accomplish.
I'm immune to the light.
I love that. I'm immune to the light.
It's about what
Very.
happened.
All right, so turn this down a little bit. It's gonna come in weird. So we see the explosion. BB-8 sees it. I think what happens there, Mike, is that this is when the village is being ransacked. You can kind of tell, and I think that BB-8 escapes. I think here's what I think happens. Dameron gets kidnapped by Kylo Ren in the First Order, and he gets taken up on that Star Destroyer. And I think BB-8 escapes, and then he runs into Rey. That's exactly what I think is gonna happen.
Very possible.
So here we see, of course, that temple, which I believe has been confirmed to be Maz Kanata's temple. And there's actually a shot of, again, this is somewhat of a spoiler, but there's a shot of Captain Phasma that from I believe it was one of the magazines. And this whole thing's burned down. So I'm guessing at some point this thing may get burned down, but maybe maybe not. We see the passing of the lightsaber. Go ahead.
Isn't that supposed to be... Now, if you look in the background when they're actually passing the lightsaber, you can see other actual alien-looking species, like in the background, like with the faces. For example, the person right behind what seems to be Leia, behind, like actually when it pans over.
Well, they could be part of the Resistance.
Well, yeah, but it is really interesting to see that. And some people have speculated that the one handing her the lightsaber right now is actually Maz Kanata.
Yes.
And the hand does look sort of alien-esque, like in terms of its actual like coloration. So it is possible that it is her.
I think it is, yeah. I think Leia looks at it and goes, "Oh, this belongs to my brother" or something. Now, this scene right here is the a little more. That's a badass shot right there. But
yes,
we hear Han actually say the Force. So it is confirmed that he believes in the Force now for real. The atheist has become a theist. Well, I mean, he probably saw it. I mean, you know what it is, bro? Let's be real. After Endor. Maybe he saw his wife do some shit with the Force, bro. Maybe they got kinky with the Force, dude.
She did some shit all right with the Force.
You never know, man. So we see this shot again. This is a new shot of her grabbing her staff. She's definitely an athletic tough chick in this movie. And then, of course, we have Finn lighting up the lightsaber and preparing to do battle with Kylo Ren. No, not with Chewbacca. And then we have Chewie here detonating something. Which this could be this right here could be a trick, because you know how sometimes they'll have an explosion that's not really in that scene.
I mean, it doesn't look like it's actually the place that it's located in. It looks like he's on the Falcon. Maybe he's doing a self-destruct. Maybe that's something that's going to happen in the movie.
They can't blow up the Falcon
with Chewbacca in it.
With him in it? Nah. The thing is, notice
Allah Akbar.
You're a dick, bro. Hells yeah, I'd be very upset at you right now. No, but you see the little mouse thing right here.
Yes.
Yeah, that could be another, All right,
could
now
be,
this
could be a Star Destroyer. Now that's a really interesting scene.
This is a badass shot, bro. This is my favorite shot of the whole new trailer, bro. He's got the fucking lightsaber and she's freaking out because he can cut her head off right now if he wanted to.
It'd be funny if he didn't stop in time. He's like, oops.
Now, this is obviously, I believe, I think I may have talked to you about this. This is another homage shot. This is from another movie. I don't know if it's Lawrence of Arabia, but there's another movie where we see somebody putting a sword to someone's neck exactly like this. Do you remember off the top of your head what film that was?
Zorro? I don't know. I can't. There's so many scenes where people put swords to people's necks. I really couldn't tell you, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. But this right here, he's got her captured. He's not going to just kill her. So there's got to be a reason he's keeping her alive.
Maybe a bloodline connection.
Maybe. That's been the rumor. But maybe not. Maybe not. So then we see that scene again. And
now going back to that scene actually first.
Right here?
Yeah. Do you think it's possible that rather than that actually being like a Death Star-esque trench run, basically what's happening...
That's the Starkiller base opening up, bro.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. Maybe it's actually opening, to actually reveal underneath the actual, base, which is obviously a Death Star,
I mean, I'll tell you one thing, man. If that's going to be quite the visual.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the case, if it is... Because you see it in the fucking poster. It's there. If this is Starkiller base... It's definitely gonna look incredible when we see it on the big screen in IMAX, or even if you don't see it in IMAX, still gonna be. I mean, dude, it's gonna have some kind of gun inside of it. Because you're right, this is an unnatural trench, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But then this scene right here.
That's what I say when I go to clubs on Friday nights.
What? It's an unnatural scene? Is
Natural trench.
Oh, I see. All right, bro. And then here you hear Maz Kanata say, what did she say? Something about hope? Hope is not lost, it is found.
Yeah.
And then we have our trailer. So, with the Japanese letters or whatever. I can't tell if this is Japanese or Korean. I'm pretty sure it is Japanese, though. But that's it. It is, see, Star Wars JP, because the Japanese get extra stuff that we don't get. The Japanese always get extra stuff we don't get. So that is it for the trailer. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last one.
Probably. I mean, how many? I mean, they might do a bunch of TV spots, which will give it away too often. But then again, it says international trailer #1. That could just be how they're labeling it. But
And it's actually wrong, because the international trailer #2, because #1 was that really brief when they showed General Hux on the base.
okay, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I hope they don't do a lot more trailers at this point. Like, I don't want them to give away way too much. I don't want them to tell us exactly what's going to happen in the movie before we actually go into the movie. So, the more ambiguous, I guess, at this point, the better. We only have a month away, which is very exciting.
A month and a week, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I'm very hyped for it, but, I think that we know enough at this point to actually go into this movie.
Yep. Well, thanks everybody for checking out the video, Mike, and check out Laughing Stock Media. Mike is you. Mike is Laughing Stock Media. Go check out Laughing Stock Media, and we will see you guys at the movies, and then I'm sure we'll come back and have a lot to talk about when the movie's done. But thank you again, Mike.
Thank you for having me on. I can't wait to see this movie.
And stay tuned, because there's a lot more stuff to come in the future.
You never get my outro right.
Okay, how does it go?
And the best to subscribe to it now. Gone.
May the Force be with you, Bennett. All right.
With awesome Steve.
Let awesome Steve.